Hello and welcome to episode 20 of Media Intelligence Explained. I am Anna O'Connor from Newton Media, and joining me, as always, my fantastic host, Omar Signori from InfoJuice. Hi, Omar.
Thank you, Anna. Great to be here.
So, before we jump into today's topic, I know it has been a while, but we did not really have a chance to catch up. So, I have to ask, how was Copyright Day in Milan? I was really hoping to make it, but I had just flown to Italy the week before for a client's meeting, so the timing just didn't work out. But you went. So, what was the biggest highlight for you?
Anna, I want to be honest with you. The most important thing was the amazing food, and the espresso coffee was delicious. Just kidding. But it's true. I really appreciate Florence's talk. She offered valuable insight on copyright as well as on the relationship between copyrights and AI.
That sounds great, especially the food. I am sucker for Italian food, so but you know what? I got my portion. I flew to Parma the week before, so I got some good ham, good cheese. So I am only 50% jealous of you. But fingers crossed I can make it to the next event. But now let's move on to today's episode because we are very excited to welcome our special guest, Katerina Kehea from Clip News, who kindly agreed to talk to us about one of FIBEP's most important initiatives, the State of the Industry Survey. So, Katerina, thank you very much for joining us.
Hello, Anna. Hello, Omar. Thank you very much for having me.
Welcome, Katerina. Thank you to be here. And let me get straight to the point. You are responsible for the soy survey and you are doing a fantastic job. For the benefit of our listeners, can you tell us what it is and why it matters?
Yes, sure. First of all, thank you for your kind words. It is a great pleasure for me to be in charge of the State of the Industry portfolio. And I would really like to thank Todd and all my fellow FIBEP board members for their trust and their collaboration. I remember like 10 or 12 years ago when I just first got involved with FIBEP as the international manager of Clip News back then. The State of the Industry survey was something that I was really looking forward to every year. I sat down, I studied it, and I discussed it with my manager and really drew insightful facts about what we should look after and what threats are coming and what challenges and what opportunities. So it was really fulfilling for me to take on this portfolio. The State of the Industry survey, it's practically like a snapshot of the media intelligence industry, where we are and where we're going. So it's conducted once a year via an online questionnaire, which is sent to all our FIBA members. And the main goal is to track any changes within our industry. So track the changes, understand where the industry stands and where the future is going to take us. This is the main aspect of the SOI survey, to help members prepare for what is coming and to give them ideas about where to invest or where they should put their effort or attention in the coming year.
Okay, so now when you explained what the state of the industry actually is, we can move on to the concrete results. So, according to your respondents, what are some of the major trends shaping the media intelligence industry right now?
First of all, let me start by saying that we had a great increase in participation in the State of the Industry survey last year. It was almost double compared to the previous years. So, this is great news because let me make this really clear. The higher the participation, the better the insights we get. So we really need all members to understand the importance of the State of the Industry survey and have better results. So for 2024, the survey revealed a slight optimistic outlook for our industry. So about 66% of the respondents reported revenue growth or stability, which is a very optimistic figure. And 92% of companies also expect stable or growing revenues, which is an indication to the health of our industry for the coming year. There were some issues that were highlighted as, like the main issues giving food for thought in our industry. One was AI and automation. I promise not to say AI too much in this podcast, but I will probably also refer to it later on. So AI was highlighted both as an opportunity and as a challenge and a threat. So we see that it can transform our industry, but we also recognize that it could be a challenging new thing in our industry. But we are no longer, like just talking about AI. AI is here. About one third of our members are using AI in at least one of their services. So this is our reality right now. And we really need to have good insights to see how this is going to transform our industry. So AI was the one main finding. The other was that client expectations are shifting. They no longer want just data, they want better insights, they want better analysis. And we also must be prepared for that. And along with the requirement for deeper knowledge, there is also a pressure for lower prices, especially with the use of AI. Clients really expect that us using AI and automation will lead to lower prices, which will create, like a pressure on our profit margin as an industry. The main finding was that AI elevated as a new hot topic because there were other findings that we see year on year, like copyright is a major issue, and employees is also a main issue, investments. But I would say that artificial intelligence was the main finding of last year's survey.
That is also because AI is something brand new, right? Compared to previous years, a few years back, there was not really any AI in our industry that much to this extent. So maybe if you could look at the topics which have been constant for the previous years, where do you see the most significant shift? Is it in relation with the customer? Is it in relation with copyright or something else?
You're correct saying that AI is the new big thing. So this is why it emerged so strongly. And this also happened when social media first emerged and we started, like including social media in the state of the industry survey and discussing back then about how will this be a threat for us and how our services are going to evolve. So if I put AI aside, I would just highlight copyright and investments in technology. These were the two other main issues highlighted in the survey as being very significant for our members.
Thank you, Katerina. Very interesting. I think we all look at the survey and we all were impressed about the results. So really good food for brains and to analyze the market and to understand trends. Now you mentioned AI, so and also copyrights. Of course, these are the two main topics we know. But I would like also to ask you, what about evolving regulations and increasing fragmentation in the media monitoring landscape? Can you say something about these two topics?
Yeah, both were highlighted among the threats that the industry is facing. So, media sources, fragmentation, and the complexity in gathering data right now for our industry was highlighted as something that could be a threat. Along with the new and more complex copyright scenery and data privacy rules and regulatory hurdles, these are putting, like more pressure on the way we can do our job. And I think that these two issues are really highlighting a need for better collaboration in our industry, but also with other partners and players that impact our industry. So, this is for me the way to move forward and to be able to deal with both these problems, both copyright issues and media sources and data fragmentation. Better collaboration to be able to come up with a solution that will be beneficial for the entire industry and all the key players in it.
Do you maybe have any other recommendations? Are there, for example, any strategic initiatives FIBEP members should focus on in the future for bigger growth?
Mhm. So this is highlighted every year in the survey where members estimate that growth will come from. So most members say that investments will focus on technology, of course, and AI, but also people and our workforce. This was highlighted as a major issue to invest in. The reality is that AI is going to also transform our workforce. We will need to retrain and upskill our employers, and we might face the fact of needing more employees in areas that are related with AI, technology, and data science. So there will be a shift in our workforce. Growth is expected in terms of services. We expect growth to be driven by measurement and analysis services, which are going to become more high value with the addition of AI software and techniques in them. So, measurement and analysis are going to play a key role in growth for the industry, as well as the need to transform from being simple data providers to being actual consultants or advisors. This was highlighted as one of the needs clients have. So this should be something that members really need to look into. So evolving from being, like simple data providers to strategic advisors, providing more knowledge to the clients.
You were talking about the shift, about potentially retraining employees and so on. We in Newton Media, we are already observing this trend. Could you maybe give us some examples from Clip News? What is your current state right now?
We have also made a huge investment in the people that are in our IT department. So I believe in the past year we have hired 3 new employees specifically in this department. So this is a shift. Speaking for Clip News, throughout the years, the department that drew more hirings was the media analysis services. So this is the first year ever that there was no change in the media analysis services. Thankfully, no layoffs, but hirings were, like shifted to the IT and software department of the company. So yes, I can see facts from the state of the industry happening. And this is, I think, the way that all members should realize the actual value of the state of the industry survey, that they see it come to life in their everyday work or throughout the year, let's say.
Yeah, it is a big change. So maybe one more question about the future of media monitoring. Do you think the companies will be in the future more isolated, trying to protect their know-how, or can we expect more collaborations, more partnerships that will shape the future of media intelligence?
Well, I think collaboration is always the key to move forward. So protecting, your know-how and your knowledge was always and will always be an issue. And of course, will continue in the future. However, I think that we are evolving as an industry, and this also includes our ability to better connect and collaborate in order to overcome all the problems that we commonly face.
Speaking with you, Katerina, I understand how valuable is the state of industry survey because you are making specific application and also the possibility to use the survey as a possibility for the future to see what can happen in the future. So I think this makes a lot of sense and I'm really great for the job you are doing. Now, I would like to see more concrete actions that FIBEP members can activate thanks to your survey. So, what do you think? How can the survey turn into concrete action for everybody of us, single operators or companies
Mhm.
altogether? How can they transform the insight to actions in the daily work?
A very good question, Amor. I think that there are two ways from my experience that members can use the survey. So, first of all, I would like to say that for me, a success would be for members to use the state of the industry survey throughout the year, to have it, like as a reference point, and not just once a year when we publish the results and talk about the results. And this can be done if we try to look into the state of the industry survey in two ways. First of all, to benchmark ourselves. So, the state of the industry survey is a great way for companies to compare their performance against the industry standards and see where they stand. And they can do so in many different sectors because the state of the industry survey focuses on several key sectors of the industry. So once you can benchmark yourself against the industry, you can see where you are, you can see how you're doing, and you can reach out for advice or for guidance from either the FIBE board or other FIBE members in other parts of the world and gain from their experience and gain from their expertise. I know me personally as Katerina, but also in Clip News, we gained a lot of insights and knowledge from fellow members from other parts of Europe who, were like a step ahead of us since we are in Greece and, developments came a bit later in our part of the world. So the first thing I would do with the state of the industry survey is to use it as a reference point to benchmark where I am and where the industry is. And the second one would be to use it when you plan your strategy for the coming year or years. So you can use the findings in order to identify where you should invest, where the industry is going, what are the trends that are coming, and what are the threats that are coming, and what you should prepare for. So it's a key instrument to plan for the future and also to justify your decisions to your stakeholders in the company. So you have now a tool you can use which shows the industry data, the industry standards, and this can justify your decisions on where you should move your company, where you should invest, and what changes you should make, which new services you should introduce, or which services you should stop offering or transform. So these are the main two ways I would use the state of the industry: benchmarking and strategic planning.
Thank you very much, Katerina. That's very great insight. Can you maybe remind us what is the current return rate of the questionnaire of the survey?
So we had a 40.8% response rate last year. So this was almost double and nearly half of our members. So it's a good starting point for me. I expect to see this number really grow in order to be able to have even better insights.
But there is still space for almost 60% of our members to respond. So maybe could you very quickly guide us through the process? Because I can imagine that for some people it can be intimidating.
Mm-hmm.
It virtually looks like this big survey, which looks like it needs a lot of time. But in reality, we talked a little bit before, it's not that much time consuming. So can you tell me what to expect when I open the survey, how much time it will take me, what do I need to know?
Yes, of course. So it's really not so time consuming. We have simplified the questionnaire. It's a simple online questionnaire. You don't need to have access to specific numbers, but like a general idea on where you stand, where your revenue stands, or what's your growth rate. But even if you need to collaborate with other departments, it's like 5 or 4 questions that require figures, and it will not take really a lot of time. So overall, the entire survey needs, I would say, about 20 to 30 minutes maximum, to be really thorough and to answer to everything, and to also use the free texts to give us more information. This is always welcome. Using the free text gives us valuable insights. So it's a 30-minute max process. We do it once a year. So from your 365 days, it's just 30 minutes of your time. All members will receive it in their emails, and that's it. I expect the survey for this year to go out in about a month and gather our responses and present the outcome in the World Media Intelligence Congress this year. So everyone should look out for their inbox to find this year's questionnaire.
So you said this year it doubled the responses. So this year we are shooting for at least double it again. So let's do 80%.
Yeah, I hope we can double it again. It would be fantastic. And the quality of the data we can gather with more participation, it will be, like fantastic. It will give us great insights.
Perfect. Katarina, thank you very much. It has been lovely talking to you. I think we are slowly approaching the finishing line. But before we say goodbye, I would really like to ask our members. It's 30 minutes, exactly as Katarina described. It's 100% worth it. So we will be very grateful for your assistance.
Thank you, Katerina. Also, on my side, I would like to add that in a world of rapid change and complexity, knowing where we are headed is half the battle. As Seneca, the Roman philosopher, wisely said, no wind is favorable to the one who doesn't know where he's going. The State of Industry survey offers that compass, helping us navigate the challenges and opportunities ahead. That's why it's essential not only to read its inside, but to contribute, to shape them. So I encourage all my friends, all the listeners, each of you, and also your colleagues to take an active role in the next edition, as we heard. The more voices we include, the stronger and more relevant our direction will be.
Thank you. That was very nicely said, Omar. And I could not agree more. Thank you, Katerina, for all the work and all the time you have put into this. We very much appreciate it. And because it is two-way street, FIBEP is also giving back. So we are excited to share that FIBEP is giving away 45 free tickets to PR in Cannes on June 18th, the flagship event of the International Communications Consultancy Organization. This gathering will bring together PR and communications leaders from around the world for a full day of networking and industry insights. So if you are interested, don't wait. It's 45 tickets. It will go away quickly. So get in touch with us to claim your spot, and you can reach our amazing Zuzana at email secretariat@fibeb.info.
And I know that Katerina is one of the speakers, so one more reason to be there. So well done, Katerina.
Thank you. Yes. I look forward to seeing everyone in Cannes. Those who can rush and pick up their ticket, I think it's going to be memorable.
And one more thing, just a quick remember that the deadline for the call for speakers for World Media Intelligence Congress 2025 is at the end of May. So if you have been thinking about submitting, this is your last chance to get involved. Don't miss the chance.
Thank you very much. Have a good rest of the day. Everybody take care. Thank you, Katarina, again. And we cannot wait what the survey will bring in this year. And as I said, let's hope for at least 80% return rate.
So bye for now also on my side, and see you soon.
Hi, I'm Anna Tsenova, and I'm the marketing manager of Data One, an organization that includes Adata Pro and Identrix, companies that you may be aware of. And today I would like to say some words about my friend, colleague, and mentor, Vladimir Petkov. He was the CEO of Identrix, and actually, it's hard for me to speak about Vlado in past tense. As many of you may already know, he had been battling cancer, and sadly, he lost that fight last month. This is a profound loss for all of us at Update One because Vlad wasn't just a colleague. He was, as I said, a true friend to everyone in our group. He was the kind of person you could talk to about anything, literally anything. Always open to new perspectives, generous with his knowledge, and most importantly, truly present in every single conversation. You could feel that he was listening and that he genuinely cared about what you're saying. Um, I remember how we were preparing for a FIBEP event when we were going to present Identrix as a candidate for membership. And it was stressful for me, at least, because I was relatively new in the organization. Mm, but when Vlado was around, everything seemed a little bit more manageable. It was his attitude, his calm approach, and his unmatched sense of humor that made things lighter and brighter. Vlad was someone who wasn't afraid to say yes to new and unknown challenges, someone who would find a way even when one didn't seem to exist. And now I think the only thing we can do is to try to be more like him, to stay true to our values, to seek out creative solutions, and to keep saying yes, even when we are uncertain and afraid. This is a huge loss for all of us, but Vlado also leaves behind a powerful legacy. So let us remember him as the incredibly bright, kind, and courageous person he was.